Hello and welcome to a special, potentially long version of Chiefsman's Corner, recording offline for this purpose. I am your host, Coach Winuvas of the Arizona Cardinals. And today this might be a little bit of a longer video, so I'm apologizing in advance for the length of the video because we're going to go into a couple of details. Number one, we're going to go over the free agency draft. Essentially, we're going to reveal the teams for the free agency draft and how we're choosing the randomized order for the free agency draft that'll be displayed on screen in this broadcast. So there's no chance of me cheating. So that way you can see exactly how it's going to come up. It'll be revealed to all of us simultaneously. So that's a little bit of a surprise. And we're also going to discuss starting up the league. I know it's been a hot topic over the last week or two, especially that we have been waiting for Madden and EA, of course, to release their companion app, so that way we can sync up with Neon Sports and get a whole lot of help with admin side of life. The game plan always, to be clear, was that we were always going to start around week 1 of the NFL season. We were going to start where the plan was and is to start with preseason rosters slightly adjusted for some of the major contracts that have come out. Some of the ones we are not editing at this time are going to be the ones like TJ Hawkinson received a couple of days ago. As of recording of this video, this is September 6th, just in case you're wondering. We're going to be going with preseason rosters because we've done the carryover players for all 32 teams based on those preseason rosters, and also we wanted teams to have the opportunity to make their own choices as far as cuts, trades, things of that nature. So we have decided to do preseason rosters. The file has already been made, and this is where surprise entry number 1 comes into play. We will be sending out invites to be received and processed in the next 48 hours. From the time you see this, I plan on releasing this video about at probably 8 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock Central, so 9 Eastern. From 48 hours from that time, we will be officially starting preseason week 1. We're going to do ORP, we're going to do training camps, trades. But without Neon Sports, we're going to be doing a couple of things slightly differently until we get Neon Sports. It's going to be quite inconvenient for everybody, and I apologize in advance, but unfortunately we are working with the tools we have, which is none right now. So I will not lie. Going through trades is going to be a bit of a bore because you're going to have to fill out a form for the trade. It's going to be a Google form. It can potentially be quite lengthy because obviously you now have 6 pieces you can trade per team. And we're going to require a lot of information, especially for the player side, that you will be required to manually input while you are looking on your console because we don't have Neon Sports. So if you want to do trades, there's going to be a slightly altered process, which I'll detail at the end, near the end of this video. I will also detail how to go through the free agency draft process as far as, quote, reserving players. That will also be done during this video. But the first big announcement is the fact that we will be starting the file in 48 hours time. I have sent invites to a majority of you who have either responded to my request for your PSN this morning via Discord or through looking at the applications that were sent in, especially some of the last ones. If you do not have an invite to the franchise as of the time you watch this video, please get with a member of league leadership. All of leadership save one, which is Polio, is in the franchise right now and are able to get you an invite into the franchise. So please let a member of league leadership know. Obviously, you can let me know, but make sure to let league leadership know that you do not have an invite. Give us your PSN, and we will get you an invite as soon as possible. When you join the franchise, and I cannot emphasize this enough, do not sign anyone. No signings are allowed right now. Do not sign any players. Do not cut any players. Do not alter the free agent pool as it stands in any way, shape, or form until further notice. This is huge. No cuts, no free agency signings until the free agency draft is done, and then we will let you know via Discord when to go ahead and go through the process of, if you choose to cut any players at this time, to go ahead and cut those players. So once again, I reiterate, join the franchise. Be sure you create a custom coach. We're not allowing this cycle you to use a stock coach because they have built-in advantages. whereas a custom coach starts off with no skill points short of the one you put into them at the creation. This is to keep us all on an even keel as much as possible. Obviously, our offensive and defensive coordinators will have certain skills depending on what team we take over. Those we cannot do anything about, but for the head coach side, you must create a custom coach. I know some of you wanted to use your stock coach that got hired this past offseason. That is not going to be the case. If you sign in as a regular coach, as a normal coach, and not a created coach, you will be removed from the franchise and told to sign in as a custom coach. If after 48 hours you have either A, not signed into the franchise, or B, not notified us that you have missed an invite or given us some reason why you're not in the franchise within 48 hours, we will go to our waiting list. We do have 2 or 3 owners on a waiting list that are going to be eager to jump in and get a team. So if you cannot respond to this within 48 hours time, either letting us know why you can't get on the game or letting us know you don't have an invite, some means of communication must occur if you do not have an invite or not in the franchise within 48 hours. Otherwise, we will move on. I think we've had plenty of time to pick up the game of Madden. If you haven't, for whatever reason, again, let us know, communicate. But invites are going to be out already. Another wave of invites can go out if needed. I know I didn't get everybody because some of the IDs that I had on file said they were invalid for Madden 24. So that means either some folks haven't logged in on the game yet, haven't picked up the game yet, whatever reason, they have not gotten on Madden 24, so I can't send an invite to those individuals. If you're one of those individuals, again, communicate with us via DM, via Discord. There's plenty of ways for you to communicate. There is no excuse at this point. We are about to start week 1 of the real NFL season. If you are not excited to be playing Madden at this point, you'll never be excited to play Madden, and we will move on without you. So that is kind of my ultimatum. Again, sign in as a custom coach within 48 hours of this video. Make sure you do not sign any free agents. Make sure you do not cut any players, period. I should log in after 48 hours and I should see no signings and no cuts from any team. Every team should be at near 75 players at this point, if not maybe 1 player above. At that point, once we get the free agency draft done, which will occur in 48 hours time, at that point you will be notified to begin the waiver claim process for players over 68 overall, signing players that are below 68 overall, free for all, or cutting players that you choose to cut. Do not do any of that until you are notified, however. Okay, so that's kind of our process that we're going through. Now, to get to the free agency draft side of things, I've got it pulled up here, and I'm going to zoom in real quick on this so you can kind of see what's going on. What I have done is I have taken team overalls as of Madden launch, not current, as of Madden launch, because we are essentially using launch rosters. We are going off of launch roster ratings, and these are overall ratings. I can show you the spreadsheet of a site I pulled it from. This is the overalls I pulled. This looks very similar to what I looked at whenever I first did a test of this site to see if it would work for our purposes. What this is doing is we are weighting the lottery. This is a lottery free agency draft. That means that anybody can pick anywhere. And the way it's weighted is if you are the best team in the league based on overall, you get 1 ball in the lottery. If you're second best, you get 2. Third best, 3, so on and so forth. If there are ties, as the case of the Ravens, Browns, and Cowboys all had the same overall rating, you each get an equal number of balls in the mix. All of you get 5. And the next person down will get their appropriate number of balls in the lottery. The Dolphins are the 8th best team. They get the 8th best ball, and they are tied with the 49ers, who also get 8 balls into the mix. And you can see as we go, scroll down, we go all the way down to 32, where the Cardinals sit with 32 balls in the lottery. This gives everybody a decent chance. Obviously, the lower overalls based on launch ratings are going to be favored, which is the idea behind this lottery system, but we wanted to make it randomized as much as possible, but give those lower overall teams a chance to have the top pick in the free agency draft. So without further ado, I'm going to generate an order for the free agency draft right now. And what we've got here, I can even play music if I want to, but I'm not going to because I don't want to get copyrighted. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this reveal style. We're going to start at pick 32, and we're going to work our way up to pick 1, and I'm going to do this as quickly but slowly as possible, if that makes sense. Essentially, I want to go through and I want to make sure that we kind of make this a little bit of a mystique type of thing. And at pick 32, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Kansas City Chiefs will pick last in this free agency draft spectacle. At pick 31, we have the Eagles. So your top two teams are picking at the bottom of the list, but the Chiefs fall a bit and the Eagles jump a spot. From pick 30, we have the Dolphins, who fall massively from potentially pick 8 to pick 30 in this lottery system. Pick 29 is the Bengals. That's about where the Bengals should have went in this particular draft. So some team that was near the bottom of this list is going to be moving up a decent bit. We then have the Vikings, and the Vikings, I do believe, were mid-range or maybe lower end of the scale. So this is probably about where they were supposed to pick. I can flip real quick and look. The Vikings were, okay, so the Vikings actually fell a bit too. The Vikings were 12th highest rated, and they are picking 5th from the bottom, so they've fallen a bit. So we have some teams climbing a bit. The Steelers are next at pick 27. Then at pick 26, we have the Colts, who fall massively from a bottom 5. They should have been top 5 pick. They fall all the way to pick 26. I know Juke is going to be very angry about that, but this is a randomized draft, so I can't help that. The Titans also fall from the wow, a lot of the top teams as far as what should have been top picks are showing up in the 20s right now with this setup right now. Titans are picking 25. The Browns are picking 24. They move up a little bit. Pick 23 is the Chargers. They're about where they should be in this draft as far as free agency goes. Patriots have fallen a little bit. The Seahawks are at pick 21. At pick 20, we have the Atlanta Falcons. At pick 19, we have the Houston Texans. Oh, at pick 18, we have the Carolina Panthers. At pick 17, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. At pick 16, we have the Green Bay Packers, and we're getting into the top end of this scale now as we get closer to the top 10. Still a lot of teams left to get that top pick in the free agency draft. The Lions have pick 15 in this free agency draft. At pick 14 is my Cardinals, so I've fallen from 1st to 14th. So we'll see who gets the first pick in the draft there. At pick 13, we have the Buffalo Bills, so the Bills are picking before me. The Jets are picking at 12th. The Broncos are picking at 11th, and now we're into the top 10 of the free agency draft. At the 10th pick, we have the Los Angeles Rams. At pick 9, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. At pick 8, we have the San Francisco 49ers. At pick 7, we have the Washington Commanders. At pick 6, we have the Chicago Bears. At pick 5, we have the Cowboys. And now the top 4 is the Giants at pick number 4. Pick number 3 is going to be the Ravens. Pick number 2 is going to be the New Orleans Saints, which means your first pick in the free agency draft belongs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this is going to be our free agency draft order. Basically what we're going to do, just to kind of show you the process as I go to bring it up real quick. Let me switch cameras here. So let me go to camera here, and let me get WFL main chat in line to make sure that's showing. Nope, it's not showing because I turned it off. There we go. So what you'll do is you'll type in FA draft in any chat window, and that will get you a message to go to our free agency draft form. You can go ahead and trust that if you want to. You don't have to, but go ahead and visit the site. It will take you to your free agency draft form. You are allowed to, quote, reserve up to 5 players. So, for example, I'll go into Cardinals, and I could choose at least 1 player. I have to choose at least 1 if I use this form. If you do not use this form, you will basically be last on the priority list for any player. You will have to manually make your selection. So to make this easier for everyone, this draft form allows you to put up to 5 players in order of priority, which means that if you want a player, and I'm going to put a joke player here because everybody knows my love affair with Deion Kane, I'm going to put Deion Kane as my top priority. Not for real, but just so you can see how this form works. And then you have the choice, do you wish to add any other players? If you choose yes, you can add up to 5 players, and we're going to go in order of what you choose. So when we look at this draft form and we look for the Buccaneers, we're going to look at their top player on their list, and whoever it is, that's who they're going to pick. If anybody else had that player on their list, obviously they can't take him anymore, so that will get wiped off their board, and we'll take the next possible player. So I have no idea who else is out there, so let's just put quarterback. Josh Rosen, because that's a name I know is in free agency. And essentially between those, and let's say I say no to finish this out, I'm not going to submit the form, which is what once you choose no or you choose 5 players, the form is submitted and will be finalized for us to look at. So obviously I don't want to finalize this form because these are not players that I want to put on this list. But essentially, hopefully that gives you an idea. Essentially, when it gets to my pick in the draft, the first player they'll look and see if he's gone is Deion Kane. If Deion Kane has been picked by another team, then it will move to Josh Rosen. If Josh Rosen has been picked by a team, then I will just forego my pick and have to make a manual pick later on down the line. Okay, so just to let you know, put 5 players and make sure you put 5 players in wide-ranging spots so that way you can hope to guarantee you get your player at your pick. What we will do, and I'm going to turn off the camera or turn off the view here so you can see me. What we will do is we will go down that list until we hit a team who basically has exhausted all of their options. So if we get to, say, the Cardinals at pick, I believe I was 14, I have that list still. I'm going to copy it and get a master list together here after this show is over. But if I'm picking 14th and all of my players are gone, like every player that I put on the list has been picked by some other team, we will halt the draft at pick 14 and let whoever that is, in this case it's me for this example, we will let me pick manually. We will put us on time limits so that way we don't spend 2 or 3 days waiting on folks to pick. But essentially we want to go as far as we can in the free agency draft using these forms. I hope we can get all 32 players picked, and then once they're picked, once all teams have had a choice, then we will move to signing those free agents that are going to be locked to those teams, and then we can begin the process of going ahead and doing things like cutting players, trading players if you desire to, doing training, anything like that. Okay, so that's going to be the process for our free agency draft. Once again, we do not have Neon Sports at our disposal. You will have to get on the console and you will have to look at the free agency list to see who you want. There is nothing I can do about that until the companion app comes out. If you don't like that, tell EA to make the companion app appear, because otherwise this is the process we have to do. It's going to have to be on the console. You're going to have to get on the console and look at the free agency. There's going to be no way for us to generate a list for you to look at. You're not going to be able to look at it offline. You're going to have to be on the console to get your list of players that you want to put in for this free agency draft. And do try to type their name properly. I realize a lot of these guys have some wonky names. Get as close as you can so we know who you're talking about. If you are completely off base with your player or put the wrong position for a player, we're going to just disregard it. Okay? So be sure about what you put on this form. Be absolutely sure. Double and triple check what you put in this form to make sure it is accurate. Okay? And that's going to be the free agency draft. Okay? Like I said, I hope we can get through all 32 teams using this form process. But if we can't, we will make sure that all teams get represented in the draft. If we get a hang-up, we'll deal with the hang-up, and then we'll move back to the forms for the next couple of picks. We're going to try and use those forms as much as possible to make sure we expedite this process, okay? So the free agency draft form will be something you'll have to fill out if you want to claim at least one player up to 5 players that are currently in free agency. So that's why it's important and paramount that you do not cut players during this time and add to the free agent pool, because guys may get on at different times to look at the free agency pool. It needs to be in stasis. There needs to be no movement whatsoever. And again, if anyone signs a free agent, they will be removed from the franchise. We will cut that player back into free agency, and then we will re-invite you back in. We're dead serious about this, folks. Don't sign anyone until you are given permission to do so. Do not cut anybody until you have permission to do so. All right? We do not have Neon Sports, as I've been reiterating throughout this video. We don't have Neon Sports to help us to tell these things. We're going to have to be on console to look. If we see it, we're just going to nip it in the bud. We're going to cut you. We're going to sign the player back if you cut him. We're going to cut the player if you signed him. And then we're going to re-invite you back. That's the process. If you don't like that, I can't help you, okay? This is the way the process is going to be until we get Neon Sports integrated. Now, for trades, to deal with trades, let me go back in, and we're going to show you Trade form. This is hopefully, God, I hope this is temporary. I hate this so much. Trade form. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our trade form setup. Hopefully you can see this on screen. Yes, you can. So again, it's going to be another form. This is only until Neon Sports can get online through the companion app. I do not want to do this all year. I do not want to. Okay? So basically, you're going to start. You're going to pick your team, and you're going to pick the team you're trading with. In this case, I'll just put down Clyde's Giants, and you'll hit next. You can do up to 6 pieces, and you can pick either draft pick or player for each of those 6 pieces. Because once again, remember, we can have up to 6 pieces in a trade. If you do a draft pick, you have to put what pick number is the pick. And I do not mean round 1, pick 12. I mean, is it pick 46? Is it pick 75? Is it pick 12? Is it pick 147? What pick specifically? And if you get on the console, it will tell you when you go look at draft picks, it'll tell you what round, and then the number next to it is what pick number it is. That's what we want here. We want the pick number, not the round. We do not care about the round. We care about the pick number. And then if you have other things to add, you select yes. If you have nothing else to add, you'd hit no, but I'm going to show you what player entry looks like. So piece 2 is going to be a player. Pick a position, quarterback in this case. Player's name, I know this player's name, Kyler Murray. How old is the player? I think he's 26. Again, all this information is available on the console. What is the player's overall? 79. What is the player's development trait? Star development. How many years does the player have left remaining on his contract? You can choose anything from 1 to 6. Remember, there are other rules in play for trading players. You cannot trade players in the first year of a brand new deal for free agency unless it's a 1-year deal maximum. You also cannot trade rookies. So any rookie that was drafted in this draft that just passed in real life and your carryover players are not tradable for the first year of the contract. So you're going to pick a number here. Pick 6 because I think that's what he has left. Again, do not go off of memory for this. Get on the console and look. I am doing this simply for demonstration purposes. This is not anything official. I just want to show you how the form works so that way you can have an idea of what you'll need to do whenever you have to propose a trade. What's the cap penalty for a player? 58.4 million, which by the way violates our rules, so that's already a denied trade. But again, showing you the process and showing you how it works. I've chosen a player in a draft pick. I'm going to say no because then what will happen is that flashes us over to Team B. So now the team you're trading with, what are they giving you? Draft pick. Pick 32 because he's not going to have anything short as far as first round pick. He's going to have a low end pick. Do you have other pieces to add? Sure. Is it a player? It's a player. Quarterback. Daniel Jones. How old is the player? I don't know. 25? Sure. What is the player's overall? I don't know. 84 maybe? Star Dev, I think. He just signed a contract, so this is illegal anyway. But just to show you what the form's going to be like, this will be what you'll have to do. Okay? This is going to be what you have to do for every single trade you want to submit to us for review. When we get it in, what you will then do, as I go back into, let me make sure I'm, oh shoot, I was not showing any of that. Crapioca pudding. Oh, dang it. Hold on. Now I got to go back and show all of that again. That's okay. I can hit back button. 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 Okay, so once again, sorry, I realized that I was talking. You couldn't see any of that. I do apologize. That's what happens whenever I do a live show or a semi-live show and I forget about things. So this is how draft picks look. And again, you want to put the pick number, not the round, just the pick number. It will be displayed in the manage roster screen under NFL roster. You hit the L2 button and hit up. You go to practice squad, and then one more time you can go to draft picks, and that shows you all your draft picks that you have. Give us the pick number. If you have other pieces to add, you're going to hit yes. In this case, again, I'm doing a player. So you choose a player, and you can do this up to 6 times per side because there's 6 pieces per trade spot. Okay, so be aware of that. You have a choice of bumps as far as what position is being traded. I'm choosing quarterback, Kyler Murray. I think he's 26. I know he's 79 overall. I know he's star dev. I think he's got 6 years left. And obviously this violates our cap penalties, but just so you have an idea of what to type in, that's what we're looking for. If it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, like if it's $240,000, put 240K. Okay. If it's million, put M. If it's K, if it's thousands, put K. And then do you have other pieces to add? I think it's 58.4 actually, million. Do you have other pieces to add? Okay, I selected yes. I didn't want to select yes. I want to hit no. So I can go team B. Is this a trade or a pick or a player? Yes. Pick 32. Do you have other pieces to add? Yes. Player. Okay. Quarterback Daniel Jones. I went through all this verbally, but obviously you didn't see it. You're going to have to put this information in. So all of this is going to be stuff you're going to have off of the console. Once again, no Neon Sports. All of this is vital information for our trade committee. Okay. When you are done with everything, I will delete this trade after the fact. You hit next and you submit. And it will tell you your trade has been submitted. Go to the WFL Trade Central channel on Discord and notify WFL Trade Group of a trade that needs review. So you will go, as I show main chat. Nope, main chat. Need to bring it back. There we go. All right, as we go into main chat, or not main chat. Did I put main chat on that? No, Trade Central. My bad. I'm looking at so Trade Central, and essentially you'll come in here in the WFL Trade Group, trade between Cards and Giants is submitted. Okay. Now I'm not going to actually hit enter on this. I do not want to submit this. Obviously, I'm going to delete that trade after the fact. But once you hit enter, then we know there's a form that's been filled out. We'll go into the forms, look it over. We'll pull it up. We'll look at it on our end. We'll give a thumbs up, thumbs down. And we'll let you know whether or not that trade has been approved or denied. And if it's denied, we'll let you know why it's been denied. Okay? So some of this is going to be like normal process with Neon Sports, but obviously the form, which is a massive form, can be a massive form, is a key difference between normal and what we're going to have to do until Neon Sports is integrated, because as is the case with when we have to go old school a little bit with some of these setups. So if you've been in a Madden league for a decade plus, or have been in a Madden league from like 2009, 8, 7, older, you're probably very familiar with this setup. It's just we're trying to streamline the process as much as possible for those that aren't used to it. Because this can be a daunting thing to look at. And yes, I know it's daunting. I made the darn thing. It's a lot. And I wish we didn't have to do it. But EA is forcing our hand partially. And I realize that we cannot wait forever for the Neon Sports app. Because folks will just start playing in other leagues and leave us in the dust. I want to wait for Neon Sports on the record. I want to wait. I'd rather wait until it's ready. But I do understand that we do need to get rolling. So the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few in this case, which is me. So all these things that we're putting in place are things we're doing to try and help alleviate the process for admins until Neon Sports comes online. Does that mean more work for you as an owner? Yep, it does. I hope you enjoy it, because this is what we have until Madden gets off their ass and puts out the companion app. This is what we have. If you don't like it, you can grumble about it, but this is the process we have. This is an emergency process we're putting into place. As soon as Neon Sports can be integrated, we're dropping this process. It will not be here. I promise you. I hate it. I know you'll hate it, but this is what we have to do. Okay? And this is to make sure that everything gets done properly and done right. And make sure we put eyes on everything we have going on in our franchise. Lastly, we will have a 50% signing list available. It is a beta version that I currently have out there and available. Cly, our Giants owner and resident spreadsheet guru nerd, is graciously trying to kind of whip something together that will hopefully kind of allow us to have some Neon Sports functionality inside of a spreadsheet, which is kudos to him. He put in a lot of effort and still has more work to do, and I'm going to help him as much as I can. But do be aware, we do have a signing sheet out there. It is accurate as far as your players that you have available on the 50% list. What isn't accurate right now that's available that you see is the trade value. That is what we're working on behind the scenes, and hopefully we can get it up and running here in the next day or two, and we will replace what you have there for a signing list with a more accurate one that reflects trade values and ORP values if you let that player walk and things of that nature. Stuff that we can get from Neon Sports, we're basically having to hand make on the fly and design a whole bunch of arrays and formulas and stuff that nobody cares about except spreadsheet nerds like myself and Cly and Polio to an extent. We're working on that behind the scenes as much as we can, as much as we're able. Hopefully we can get something worked out and figured out and get a more concrete list to you that's more representative of what you're used to from Neon Sports. That being said, in this video we have gone through the actual reveal of the free agency draft, as far as who's picking first, who's picking second, so on and so forth. We have gone through the free agency draft process. We have gone through the fact that you will be allowed to sign into the franchise as early as tonight. If you have invites, again, if you do not have invites, let a member of leadership know. Let them know why. If you're having issues getting the game or haven't logged into the game, let us know these things within 48 hours of this video dropping. If you have not communicated in 48 hours anything to anyone, you will be moved on from. We were going to start around week 1 of the NFL season with or without the Neon Sports app. We were hoping it was going to be with. It is without. But as soon as we get Neon Sports integration, the trades will become a lot simpler, admin will become a lot simpler, and we'll kind of go back to, quote, the old way. But for now, we're going completely old school. I've went over how to fill out a trade form in pretty basics. If you have any questions, please ask. I tried to make it as user-friendly as possible, but that doesn't mean that there still won't be some questions potentially. And then we're going to get rolling. Basically, the idea of the game plan, 48 hours, so that today is Wednesday, September 6th. Basically, by Friday, we hope to have everybody in the franchise one way or another. And then we're going to start training camp in preseason week 1. We're going to allow roughly 24 hours for everybody to get training camps in, maybe get some cuts and signings of free agents from the free agency draft in place. Also gives us some time to get those free agents set up and make sure that everybody's got a free agency pick from the free agency draft. Also, another thing, we're going to be doing ORPs. I did a video on how to fill out an ORP form in our breakdowns area. Please check that out if you haven't already, to see how our ORP process is, off-season regimen program. Everyone will have a minimum of 10 points and a maximum of 16 points. If you have any questions about what kind of point spread you have, please ask. It is on the 50% signing sheet. You can look there and see what you have as far as points. Both the one that's currently up and the one we're working on will have that available to you on what's called the quick look tab of the 50% signing sheet. So do check that out if you want to know how many ORP points you have. And you could spend them however you want, as long as it's within our legal setups. All the rules and stuff for that are linked in the various documents that you can find ORP in. So that pretty much details everything I wanted to go over. Once again, going live in 48 hours. So if you're not on the ball now, you never will be. Get in the franchise. Do not make any cuts. Do not make any signings. Free agency draft will be announced on Friday whenever we get the 48-hour limit. We'll announce as many players as possible. Give about 24 hours to get those last couple of players that may have gotten hung up as far as teams. Get them players and picks into the system and make sure they get players that they desire or players they might want. Then we're going to hopefully at that point by Saturday be moving on to preseason week 4, where we will cut down to 53 in the practice squad, and then hopefully by Sunday or Monday at the absolute latest, we will be in week 1 of Madden 24 WFL's season 6. So I hope you're looking forward to it. I hope you're plugged in. I know it's been a lot of a gap of time. Slider testing has been kind of hit and miss. But I will say we appreciate anybody who's done the slider test as far as their feedback, both good and bad. We appreciate anything you've done to kind of keep us occupied. The tournament, I know Cly and some of the guys in leadership hosted a double elimination tournament. I think it's ended or is ending. I was not in it, so I really didn't honestly pay attention to it. I'm sorry. But thank you for participating in that. I know the rewards for that are going to be extra ORP points, so once you guys finalize that up, obviously that'll be extra ORP points you can spend during this off-season cycle we will have right now coming up in 48 hours. So for those of you that have been, forgive the phrase, bitching and moaning, here you go. Your bitching and moaning has been rewarded. We are going to start without Neon Sports, so obviously there has been some changes to the processes which have been announced and shown in this video. Again, if you're lost on anything, please get with a member of leadership or myself, and I will try and walk you through the process as best I can. Looking forward to everybody that's in here getting a hold of their team and actually getting some playtime in with their WFL team moving forward. And hopefully you're looking forward to what is going to be our season 6. We do not have a defending champ because he retired on top, went John Elway style, Ross and the Dolphins. So whoever wins season 6 is the new king of the mountain. So could be anybody. Good luck to everybody out there. Hope you enjoy this cycle. And that's it. I mean, I don't have anything else. So outro time. I'm Winuvas. I am one of the leadership team here in WFL and the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. I appreciate your time watching this video. Guys, Friday. I'll check you then.